Hello, 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 and welcome to the Crew Podcast. I am the visionary Queen Angela, and welcome to Season 2. I want to thank you for tuning in and for all of your support throughout Season 1. We're back, them divas of the airwaves. So thank you for joining us tonight. Share this with
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Da Crew Podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
Because I'm back.
Welcome to the SC Book Gal and Friends Chat. We're going to be talking about the latest in book reviews, author interviews, and life. Come on in and join us. We're ready. Are you?
I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they're getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks.
Hey everyone, it's another Saturday night. So I'm back here with a new author for you guys to meet. I am SC Book Gal 843 Patrice Grimball, and it is another chat night. Now you guys, I got a little cold, so please excuse me, okay? But I could not stop my cold. Just like it won't stop me for letting you guys meet a new author. You guys, now this one is going to be the minds of the Patrices, because her name is Patrice also. And she's a doctor. I tell you, we smart and we beautiful, but she's taken. I'm not. So how you doing? So you guys, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Patrice Jackson. And she's going to talk to us about her book. Okay? Come on up, Miss Jackson. Patrice Jackson. Hey, Mama, how are you?
Hello, my fellow Patrice. Hey, Queen. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming, Patrice. I'm going to be saying Patrice all night long, y'all. I think out of my whole life, I might have met 3 other Patrices at the library.
Yeah.
That's it. So it is. So, and none of them were white. All of them were white. So you were the first African-American Patrice I have ever met.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, here we are.
Here we are. And we're going to talk about your book, Disturbing Burnout. But first, you got to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I am Dr. Patrice Buckner Jackson, but you all can call me PBJ. That's what everybody calls me. I'm an educator. I've been in education for 25 years, specifically in colleges and universities. Patrice, I worked my way up to vice president. There's really no professional goal that I set that I have not accomplished. And sister, it almost cost me everything.
Oh, hold on now. Don't think you could stop right there if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
You got to give us some backstory.
This is where this book came from. So They said, get the doctorate. I got it. They said, keep working hard and get promoted. I did. They said, take all the assignments. I did. All of the things that I've been taught throughout the years that a professional woman does, that a successful woman does, I was checking off all the boxes. I'll never forget August 2019, Patrice. I was driving to work. I could barely see for the tears in my eyes. I had got my highest promotion ever. I was vice president, pulled into work, fancy parking space just assigned to me. Girl, I had to sit in that fancy parking space and fix my face and put my makeup back on because I didn't know if I could handle it anymore. When I got myself together, went into the student center, hugging students, good morning, how are you? You didn't come see me yesterday, all the things. It was all I could do to get behind the door of that beautiful office, and I fell apart. I crumbled. Patrice, I was holding on to the edge of my wooden desk because I didn't even feel like I could hold my own weight up anymore. What I really wanted to do was crawl under that desk and lay there in the fetal position, but I was so ashamed. I thought, what are they going to think if they find me here? Friend, when I got myself together, I picked up the phone and I called my husband and I tried to explain to him what was happening. I'm sure I wasn't making a lot of sense, but at some point he interrupted me. He said, go home. I'll meet you at the house. Just go home. Well, sis, it was August. We had parents moving their kids in. I had a lobby full of students with problems. I had staff members calling my cell phone. It was all happening. And I remember telling him, I can't go home. I can't go home. And at some point I started saying, I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. He interrupted me again. He said, go home. I'll be home in 10 minutes. Meet me there.
Mm-hmm.
Patrice, something in me clicked. I got off the phone. I typed a letter. I printed that letter. I went to where my president was in a meeting. I waited till that meeting was over. And when that door opened, I handed in my letter and I left that campus. And to this day, I have not been back to that campus, except I'm going back in a couple of weeks for my book tour. I'm going back. I'm going back to have a private gathering with some of the people that I left because I need to tell them what I've learned since I walked away.
Wow. I've heard of that. I've heard of that. At my job, I've heard of that a lot. There has been people who's been retiring. And I know good and well these people have more years in them. But every time I've talked to them, they're like, I have to go.
Yes.
And I kind of, I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there to the point where it felt like, okay, I just can't do this. And I just can't. And I've now started to pace myself. So
Yes.
first of all, your book is on my to-read book list. I've said that to plenty of people. Oh, your book is on my to-read list. This book has to be on my to-read list because with 19 years in and all the stuff that I've seen coming and going and working at libraries and hearing about all the book bannings and all this, it gets very like, hey, I ain't got time for this right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even at work, I'm sitting up there and matter of fact, this is crazy. I spoke to my manager and we all were just sitting in the back in the office talking. We were like, look, we just are not motivated today. I said, I can usually read this teen book, come up with these questions and have no problem. But I am just not motivated.
Oof.
And so I just started doing something else. Okay. And I understand that when you said, take all assignments, do this and do that, I was doing that.
Yeah.
And I won this award that's considered the Employee of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I sit back and everybody's like, you deserve it. But the only reason why I really was crying because it was the anniversary of my mom's death. And the award was named after my best friend who was killed in a very tragic way. So when I think about what I've done, it's like, okay, yeah, I do because, you know, this is what's required of me. So I totally understand and get where you're coming from.
You just said something. We got to bring some attention to it because when you said, you know, we were sitting there and I know how to do this task. I could do it with my eyes closed. Like, it's not a hard thing. It's something I've done so many times, but all of a sudden in this moment, I don't feel like I can do it. That's what I call a tell, Tell. We got to pay attention to our tells, our symptoms, because burnout doesn't just happen. It doesn't just show up one day. It's what I call a cycle of burnout, right? And I want everybody to hear, whether you have a doctorate degree or not, you might be in the cycle of burnout, especially. This affects all human beings, but the research shows us that women report a higher level of burnout than anybody else. And here's why: because there's no off time. There's no stop. When you get off, you are just going to your next responsibility. You leave work and you go to the t-ball field, or you go to the dance recital, or you go home to cook, or even if you're not working full time, you might be a caregiver. You might have small babies at the house. The demand doesn't stop.
Oh my God.
So in the cycle of burnout, right? In the cycle of burnout, the first phase I call surviving. In surviving, you know the pressure is a lot. You know the weight is on you. You can physically feel it. In surviving, you wake up and you're like, Lord, give me strength to do it one more day. Just give me strength. Let me do it one more day. You're not thriving. You're not full of joy. You're just making it. You're just making it. In surviving, you feel like you're on a roller coaster and you really wish somebody would stop the ride just so you can catch your breath. If we don't do something different in surviving, then we go to the phase I call overwhelm. In overwhelm, it feels like the water level of your life is rising and you are fighting to keep your head above water. You are fighting. And in overwhelm, your tails start to come out. So body aches, migraine headaches, high blood pressure, and not just the physical signs. We have anxiety. We can't rest, because rest and sleep is two different things. Patrice,
Yes.
there were days that I just woke up and I was tired.
Okay.
Rest, sleep are not the same thing.
This morning, like my aunt called. She's like, "Oh, my daughter's naming and I had rehearsal this week. You should see me in the bed contemplate my life." Okay,
friend.
We're gonna go to this rehearsal. She told me I don't want to go. Well, you going? So I told her, I said, look, for the rest of the day after my podcast, I am literally going to lay back and figure out who's gonna die or raising Canaan, because that's my way of resting. Yes, I want to see the end.
No spoilers. No spoilers. We won't talk about it.
So you look at it too?
I haven't seen it. No, but I'm just telling the people, don't spoil your joy.
Oh, please don't. Y'all don't do that to me. Don't do that. But I totally understand, and I do feel it's more women, because I find myself, my first job starts at 5:00. Okay. And while we're doing 5 a.m. prayer, I'm ironing clothes for my daughter and ironing clothes for myself. Sometimes even sitting up here curling my head. I noticed some burn marks back there because I fell asleep with the curling on my head.
Yes.
6:30 shift 2 and getting my daughter ready. And then off to work. And then after work, go pick her up from practice. Then come home. Then do homework. Then I totally understand. And it is a lot of women. So what do we do? How does your book give us the, like you say, the lifeline of finding that purpose? How does your book steer us there?
Yeah. So we talked about surviving and we talked about overwhelm. That last phase is burnout. If you don't do something different than overwhelm, then burnout is the involuntary shutdown. Something breaks. Right? When I left my job that day, Patrice, I did not go to work saying I'm gonna quit today. Like, this is it. It wasn't a plan. It was a moment. Like, when I heard Edward say, go home, something in me said, I have had enough. And I truly believed that if I did not leave at that moment, I would not have been able to leave under my own power. Somebody would have had to come get me. I told my husband, I said, I don't know what it feels like to lose your mind, but I feel like it's happening to me. So the strategies that I offer, that's why we call it disrupting burnout, because we want to disrupt the cycle. We've got to break that cycle, not feel better and then go back into it again, and then get a breath of fresh air and then go back into it again. Because that's what we do. We go through a good period and we're doing all right. But before we know it, we're back in rock bottom again. The strategies in this book will help you disrupt that cycle so you don't continue in the cycle. We call it the heart work strategies because it's more than a facial. It's more than self-care. It's more than taking a walk. Time management is not enough. I had 3 calendars when I fell apart in 2019, and none of them prevented me from falling apart. And here's another thing I hear often, especially when we're addressing Black women, we talk about resilience. You need to be more resilient. Let me tell you something. The people, and it's not just Black women, I'm telling you, this is an epidemic, but the people that I serve, they know how to fall and get back up. They know how to be pushed into a corner and find their way out. We know how to be resilient. The problem is we've had to be resilient too often.
Okay, see, you done.
So we don't need nobody else teaching us how to be resilient.
Thank you.
So these heart work strategies, there's 3 simple strategies that I teach. They're simple, but they're not easy, because they are a different way of approaching life and work than what we've been taught. We've been taught we got to work 10 times harder. We've been taught that you're not allowed to say no. We've been taught you shouldn't rest until you're absolutely exhausted and can't go anymore. And we've got to address all of those ideas that have been passed to us and make a decision that is not sustainable. We can't live that way. We're losing people left and right. And we sit around saying, well, she was so young. Well, what happened?
Okay.
It's time out for that. It's time out. People are literally dying. They are literally, like, not even exaggerating. Professional women are literally dying in their career fields because they don't know how to handle the weight of everything that has been put upon them.
That is so correct. And I think, I don't know, she killed herself or she killed herself somewhere in a library system. She was an African American woman. She turned around, gave her letter of resignation, then turned around and killed herself when she got home.
No, ma'am.
I read that article maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And I was sick. Now, I remember my boss telling me go home. Well, you know what? People tell you to go home when you're sick. But then you think about, I've got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. You know what, you guys? We're going to take a break real quick because I need to talk to her. And we're going to find out we ain't going to give you all the tips, but we're going to give you some of these tips because you still got to get the book, you guys. Yeah. But we're going to take a break. My story, yeah, you sitting right here. So you guys, come back when we get finished with this break, okay? We'll be back.
The book, A Song for Zipporah, written by David Harris, is a powerful historical fiction centering around the life and character of Moses' future wife, Zipporah, before they met. Book author David Harris brings the reader into the relationship between Moses and Zipporah, which was gradual and lush. The story unfolds beautifully when Moses finally asks Zipporah to marry him. Purchase your copy of the book detailing this authentic story, A Song for Zipporah by David Harris today. It's available online at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com.
So, I told y'all we were coming back, you guys. I'm going to tell y'all my little story. And I apologize if you were seeing this, but this is me, and this is how I feel. I do no less than maybe 5 programs a month by myself at my library. But there are others that do maybe 1. Pat on the back. I started to realize that this was expected of me to do this many programs. And out of all of my 19 years, I have never gone 1 month without doing the program, only during the pandemic. And even when we came back during the pandemic, I did a tutorial. May is going to be the first month I do not do any programs because I felt like this is expected of me. This is what they expect. Oh, Patrice, you do this much. Oh, Patrice, you do that much. Oh, Patrice. And then I had a conversation. I said, I'm doing all this, and the librarian who got the degree is only doing that. Let me step back for a second. And you go to upper, and they say, talk about burnout, this. And I'm like, do you really understand the word burnout coming from me? Because you still expect me to do these things. So I had to pace myself. And now that's what I'm doing. I'm literally pacing myself. I'm doing programs now that matter to me. So one of my programs is a mindfulness program. This is what I need, not knowing that other people need the same thing too.
Absolutely.
So you told us these 3 tips you said?
3 strategies.
So you guys go ahead and get your pen and your paper and your pencil because we're going to give you a little bit. We won't give you much.
Yeah.
Because you still got to go get the book.
Yes.
She's going to give us a little snippet. Okay. So
I will. And I want to say I'm so proud of you because, Patrice, we train people how to treat us.
Yes.
So they come to expect a certain thing from us because that's what we give. And this is not about not being excellent at work. Like, that's out of integrity. But we push ourselves beyond excellent because we're so used to having to go beyond. So then the weight of the whole library or the department or the company rests on your shoulders because everybody said, well, she'll do it. Okay. So now let's talk about the strategies. We have three heart work strategies. And again, to really understand them and to practice them. This is not just a book that you read, like you work this thing. And so there's a workbook that is available for download when you get the book for free. The workbook is yours when you get the book because you need to work these strategies in order to see the power of them in your life. The first strategy is check your backpack. Let me tell you what I mean. What standards, ideas, beliefs, systems have been taught to you, passed down to you formally or informally that are defining the way you show up for work or life. So those ideas that we've been given, I'll give you an example. I always ask folks, what is your definition of work and who taught you? What does it mean to work? I'll ask you, Patrice, what is your definition of work and who taught you what work means?
That's a good question. I guess my definition of work is, wow, it's doing what I have to do. Wow. All I can hear is what was said to me by a boss one time. Say, you make me look good, I'll make your life easy.
Oof.
I had a boss that said that to me. He said, you make me look good, I'll make your life look easy. If you make me look good, I will make your life easy.
Listen.
I will not say it's not at my current job, you guys.
Sure.
I kind of use that everywhere that I go.
And my challenge with that, Patrice, my challenge with that definition, and I'm so glad you said it, and I see LaTanya in the chat as well, making ends meet, right? My challenge with that definition that boss gave you is that could cause you to be hiding in plain sight because you always making somebody else look good because they taught you that's what your role is. That person, not the people you with now, but that person taught you that your role is to make me look good. So your brilliance, your shine gets put put behind a curtain so that you can make the other person look good. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a number two. Y'all hear me? Some of us are anointed to be a number two. That's exactly where we're supposed to be. But sometimes your brilliance should be out front.
Oh, you sound like my manager now.
Okay. All right. So you got to think about, what is your definition of work and who taught you? And here's the next question. Is it still in alignment with who you are? Right? So I'm from Crocketville, South Carolina. Girl, don't worry about it. If you heard of it, we cousins. It's okay. It's all right. Crocketville, it's in Hampton County. I promise you it's there. Crocketville, South Carolina. Crocketville is listen, friend. I told you I'm a South Carolina girl. Crocketville is a farming community. So work in Crocketville is back-breaking, sweat-inducing. Like, my people got up before the sun and they didn't come home until the sun went down. My stepdad would work a shift work, 8 hours, 12 hours, come home, take a nap, then go to the field. Like, in Crocketville, work was hard work because it was survival. It was survival. This is how we live. So I took that definition to the university setting. And in the university setting, I had to be the first one at work. I couldn't leave before everybody else was gone. I couldn't say no to any assignment, because who am I to say no? My people still in the fields of Crocketville, and I'm sitting in this cushy office with the air conditioning. I can't say no. So you want another committee? Sure, I'll do it. Another project? Yeah, I got it. A student crisis? Yeah, call me. I'll show up. And I didn't realize that definition, although it's my foundation and it served me well, was killing me. Wow. Because although I was born and raised in Crocketville, I'm not called to Crocketville. I was called to be an educator. So I was taking a definition that no longer fit my life, and it was choking the life out of me. So you got to recognize who taught you these lessons. Who are the people along the way? I see Alma said, my mom. Alma said, it's providing for my family. Yes. And I get that a lot. People say, well, work is to provide for your family. I believe that. But I also believe that you should be working in your brilliance. Like, there's a natural brilliance that flows from you, and the work that you do should align with that brilliance, because that brilliance is an automatic magnet for money. You ain't got to worry about money when you work securely in your brilliance. But so many of us are doing work because we just surviving. I just gotta pay these bills, girl. I just gotta buy these groceries. I ain't got time to think about no brilliance because I'm just trying to make it. And what I'm telling you is that fulfillment will never come until you can wake up in the morning and say, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So check your baggage.
I'm still stuck at the working in your brilliance. I'm stuck there.
Yeah.
That's wow. I'm sorry, but you're going to see that on my Facebook page.
Please.
Because you sound like our producer. And they say out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, and you're number 3, because I have a second witness. Wow.
Yeah, we got it. So I got to give you these other 2, because we're coming back to brilliance. So number 1 is check your baggage. Number 2 is build your boundaries. I'm not talking about one of these little social media boundaries. I'm not talking about something cute that you write in your journal and never look at again. But your boundaries should be connected to what you are unwilling to lose. What are you unwilling to lose? Where do you draw your line? We give it all up for work. Patrice, my child felt like she needed an appointment to see me while I was running to the campus taking care of everybody else's child.
Ooh.
My own health, my faith, my prayer life was a mess because I was waking up, checking my email, going to bed, checking my email. And you couldn't tell me I wasn't serving. And I was, but it was out of balance. It was out of balance and it was out of order. I had no boundaries. I had no boundaries. So you got to build boundaries connected to what you are unwilling to lose, or you will lose it.
Yep. Speaking of daughters, I took off for 2 days at work for my daughter's recital.
Yes, ma'am.
She came to me and she said, "Mommy, can you be in the background?" And I told my boss, I said, "Look, I just need these 2 days off." One of the days turned into a storm day, so they canceled recital. But I went to my boss again. I said, "So they're doing it on Thursday. I need to take this whole entire day off."
Yes.
"Well, you got a program." "Okay, cool." And I told my daughter, I said, "Look, Mommy will be there at 12 o'clock." And at 12 o'clock, I was walking through. She's like, "Mommy, you came." I said, "I'm not going to disappoint you. I'm going to stand behind these curtains and watch you dance, walk till your little legs fall off." And oh, yeah, the crew, I'm going to send y'all the video because my baby looks so cute in this video. I'm going to send that to y'all tonight. But, anyways, I will never forget her turnaround. She was dancing, she turned around, she gave me the wink. I was like, "Oh, my baby." So, yes. Go ahead, number 3, because you
Number
just
three. And this is the one you fell in love with anyway. Number 3 is discover your brilliance. You have an innate, unique brilliance that like nobody else. And friend, you didn't learn it and you cannot earn it. It flows freely from you. It's been your brilliance all your life. Brilliance doesn't wait until you get the degree, until you get the promotion, until you get the fancy job. You've been brilliant since your first breath. And we've got to reconnect to that brilliance that flows freely from you. Brilliance and purpose are the same thing. Brilliance, there's a purpose, right? Passion and purpose are different. Passion and purpose is different. Purpose is the who. That's your brilliance. Passions are the what's with an S. That's what you do. And especially in American culture, we start asking kids as old as they can talk, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what we really mean is, what are you going to do for money? So we start equating value with salary before a child can even say a complete sentence. But I'm here to tell you, when you know that brilliance, when you know the who, you can do anything. It's not about the doing. The doing comes easy when you know the who. There is a signature, a fingerprint that you bring to every program that you do, Patrice. And nobody else can do it like you. And it doesn't mean they're not good in their own right. That it means they're not Patrice. They're not you. When you do a program, it comes out different. It will never be the same because you have an innate, unique brilliance, a secret sauce that you put on everything that you do. And once we know what our brilliance is, it frees us up from that overperforming, overachieving, overworking, comparison, because there is no comparison. There's no competition for you. Nobody can beat you being you. And when I tell you there's a power and a confidence, not cocky, not prideful, but responsible. I'm responsible for this brilliance. It's my responsibility to share it with the world. Now that I'm aware of it, I know what this brilliance is. I'm responsible to pour it out. And so are you, and so is everybody that's listening. If there is breath in your body, you are brilliant.
Okay. Y'all just had the motivational moment of this year. Okay.
I can't help it.
Girl, you just make me wanna make me wanna run laps. I can do, you know how Rocky man, that's what I'm hearing in my head. I'm hearing the theme of Rocky. Okay. So you just need to tell us how we can get this book. Just give us the rundown, because
Yes, ma'am.
you have hit so many nails that are really, really mothers. And I'm going to send this show to my sister. She is that person. And she will show up. She don't care who, what, where, why, but she going to show up for her kids.
Yeah.
You just need to tell us how we're going to get this book.
Yes, ma'am. I gotta tell you, it took me about a year to write it and edit and do all the things. It took me 20 years to live this thing. I poured 20 years of my life into this book. All the hard lessons, the moment that I thought was going to take me out, the fruit of that moment is this book. So I always say I'm not attached to a number. I don't have like a metric of I want to sell this many books. That ain't my goal. My goal is to get this into the hands of every woman who needs it, because I know what it feels like to be drowning in burnout. I know what it feels like to live your life overwhelmed and you don't know how to stop it. These strategies work, not just for me, but for all the women that I have the honor to walk with, and their stories are here too. So this book is available wherever books are sold online. Specifically, you can go to disruptingburnoutbook.com, disruptingburnoutbook.com, and you can order the book. The audio book will be up there next week. Our book tour is going on right now, so you can check out the book tour. Everything you need to know about this book, disruptingburnoutbook.com, and all the information is there. Patrice, thank you for allowing me to share this message today.
Thank you. So you guys, she told y'all where to get it. And in case you forget, you give us the SC Book Gals and Friends chat at least. Okay, the Super Bowl tomorrow. So y'all need to give us 48 hours. And we will have the blog up where you can listen to this again until you're able to receive that book to get those nuggets of knowledge. Patrice, thank you for encouraging Patrice. Greatly, greatly, greatly thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
So, you guys, it's another Saturday night, and this one, again, is worth it. We met an author who motivated us, not for the things that we can do, but motivated us in 2024, okay? So, of course, this week is the week of love, you guys. I want you to watch all of my social media pages, okay? We're going to have snippets of my interview with Miss Patrice. And each day, I'm going to introduce you to another romance author, okay? And I heard that they're going to be giving away some of their books, okay? So, all this week on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yes, you guys, I still use Twitter. Don't worry, we might not be on there long. TikTok, all of these. Make sure you're following us. We're going to get the links from Miss Jackson so you can follow her, because I'm pretty sure she's dropping some nuggets every day on her social media platforms. But it's another Saturday night, and you guys, thank you for joining us. Next week, new author. Oh no, not next week. I got a bonus show, you guys. Thursday night. So you done love up on your man Wednesday. Is it Wednesday Valentine's Day? Yeah. Yes. Okay. You done love up on your man, your girl, your cat, the dog, yourself. They come on Thursday, and I'm going to give you some books so you can read. And y'all know my books. You might rekindle, and you might be in the house for the weekend. You know what I'm saying. So I will see you Thursday night, 8 o'clock, right here again. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night, everyone. Bye. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you found a new book to read or a new author to explore. Join us again in 2 weeks for SC Book Gals and Friends Chat.